is the media chat room where the celebrity headlines are talking. And back in the headlines, y'all, we have an update on Jeannie Mai and Jeezy's divorce. So right now, go ahead and break up all the cute little pictures and images that you thought was going on in this relationship. Girl, you could even burn up the wedding pictures too, because at this point, Jeannie said it wasn't what you thought it was. Some disturbing allegations has now come to the forefront during this divorce. And Jeannie said at one point in the marriage, she became a battered woman, not only experiencing verbal abuse from Jeezy, but physical as well on several different occasions. It's a lot of moving parts to this story, so we hopping straight on into it. But first, I'm gonna need you to like and share the video with everyone that you know. Then subscribe to the channel so that you can become an official Chatty Patty lover, and I promise you're gonna love it here. And last but not least, turn on your notification bell so that you know when we drop our next video or go live. So Jeannie and Jeezy have been in the middle of a divorce since August of 2023, and since the two share a minor child together, they do have to go through custody arrangements, which puts on record who has the legal ability to make decisions on behalf of the child, custodial arrangements, and or child support. Now, if you've been following us, then you'll know that a few months ago, Jeezy came to the courts asking them for some type of formal visitation for him to see the child because he felt like Jeannie was gatekeeping the baby. So Jeannie was like, I have no issue with him seeing the baby. He just needs to make proper arrangements in addition to making sure that his firearms are concealed and safeguarded because she have a concern. Now, in the midst of them trying to temporarily arrange custody and Jeannie trying to get the prenup thrown out, Jeezy asked the courts to seal their record because at that point the case is continuing to garner a whole lot of media attention, and he did not want private information shared to the public. In addition, it will protect information as it relates to their minor child. But Jeannie was like, bump that, playboy, you made it public, so let's keep it public. And now that more information is coming out regarding this divorce, I believe it was because Jeannie was playing chess, not checkers, knowing that she was going to be ready to lay all his ish bet if this ninja came and tried to play with her. Because you already know how the saying goes.
Just fooled me once, shame on you. If fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
So she kept her gun cocked and loaded for this moment in time, letting us know that clean-cut businessman who was sitting on the couch with Nia alone, who's been pretending to go to therapy because he's worked on himself, is now being questioned because Jeannie is letting the courts know that she's been in an abusive marriage for a long time. So how did this all finally come out? I'm glad you asked, Chatty Patty. Well, a few weeks ago, Jeezy petitioned the court asking to have full custody of their child, stating that Jeannie was unable to care for the child because she was busy and working a lot. Also revealing that she's not the one who's actually taking care of the child. Her mother and brothers are. And therefore, he can provide a stable home for the child, providing her with consistency in the home that she grew up in. Now, Jeezy must have heard the dragon coming, knowing that he pissed on the wrong tree, because then he retracted that request asking for joint custody. So then Jeannie Mai came out swinging, letting the courts know that he has verbal outbursts in addition to violent rages, reminding the courts of an incident that he had with his son in 2012, when he not only choked his son but threatened to off him, where he was then indicted on charges in 2014 for false imprisonment, battery, and terroristic threat. And not only that, Your Honor, he's been physically abusive, and he has guns all over his home that he does not safeguard. Now, Jeannie Mai must be bopping to Confessions by Usher and really resonating on that part when he said, if you're gonna tell it, then you gotta tell it all. Now, here are some specific examples that Jeannie gave of Jeezy having outbursts and causing her physical harm. This specific incident happened January 2022. They were sitting inside the car, and Jeezy asked the driver to step out. He yelled at her, calling her a whore, saying that he could not wait till he got back so that he could divorce her. She was trying to get out the car, but he was holding her against her will. He then took a closed fist and hit her against her cheekbone and eye, causing a subconjunctival hemorrhage. Now, although no one was inside the car to witness what happened, that same week they contacted their pastor and therapist for counseling related to DV perpetrated by young Jeezy. And then on April 14, 2022, at the San Francisco Ritz-Carlton, he choked her from behind as she was walking up the stairs. Then he pushed her down the stairs, causing a security guard to step in, all while calling her a FMB, saying that I could do better than you. The security guard did intervene, and she let him know that she did not feel safe. And this incident was documented by the hotel and written in the incident report. This incident report is attached. LP Bays received a call in regards to a domestic dispute in the Lodge Bar at approximately 2100 hours. Long service stated that guest Mr. Jenkins had pushed Mrs. Mai Jenkins down the steps leading to the main lobby. lobby. I, LS, responded to the call, and upon the arrival, I noticed Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins arguing. I approached the guests and continued to sit on the lobby bar area and requested 5 minutes to discuss things alone. After the given time, I spoke to both guests, telling them they needed to continue their conversation elsewhere because it was disturbing the other guests. Guests moved to P37 hallway and continued their conversation. Mr. Jenkins requested I get his 4 Louis Vuitton bags from the room, and as I was in the process, I was called back to assist due to Mrs. Jenkins beginning to raise her voice, resulting me to have to put the luggage retrieved on hold. Mr. Jenkins requested to go outside and get some fresh air to talk. Mrs. Jenkins also had previously stated that she felt unsafe being alone with him and requested I was nearby. Guests talked near the valet office and then moved themselves to the front desk where Mr. Jenkins got another room key to retrieve the rest of his belongings. Mr. Jenkins continued to try to press the issue of wanting to converse with his wife, but due to Mrs. Jenkins' comments stating that she was done talking, I told Mr. Jenkins he needed to be willing to walk away from the situation or I was going to have to call the police. Both guests went up to the room, but Mrs. Jenkins requested that I come along because she still felt unsafe being with him by herself and wanted me to make sure she came out of the room unharmed. I escorted both guests and they continued their conversation in the room. Mr. Jenkins wanted me to wait outside, but I stated I could not due to his wife's fear of her unsafety. After their conflict, Mr. Jenkins made me aware that he was getting another room and to have his personal belongings, which was previously retrieved, ready in the front desk for when he came down to pick out his new room key. I then spoke to Mrs. Jenkins and she said that she did not need any more assistance and Mr. Jenkins was going down to pick out his room key when he was ready. Then on December 17, 2022, they attended the Atlanta's Mayor Ball, and when she stepped away to the restroom with one of her friends, he became enraged because he didn't know where she went for 25 minutes. Then all of a sudden he made them leave the party, and when they got into the vehicle, he asked the driver to step out. He began to verbally abuse her, and as she tried to get out the car, he grabbed her by the neckline of her dress, causing the dress to tear, leaving 2 to 3 inch scratches across her right breast. And just like before, this incident was brought up in therapy that the both of them attended, and she also told her best friend in confidence. There so happened to be another incident due to him drinking. He ended up crashing a golf cart, which ended up causing him and her injury. But that wasn't the first time. There was another incident that happened during the marriage where he drank too much and ended up crashing the luxury car into the home. However, no one was seriously injured during this incident. Now, given all the background information, Jeannie is saying this is why she's asking him to safeguard those firearms. However, he has refused to make these accommodations whenever he has the child, because throughout his home he has guns and bullets laying around carelessly, and therefore him having primary or even joint physical custody at this point should be a joke. And just in case you need more information, I'm gonna lay it on you so that you can make the right decision, Judge. Back in November of 2023, he left the child unattended so that he could go perform at the CMG Gangsta Art Tour. And in December of 2023, because he was not properly watching the child, he got a hold of some kind of toxic and biohazardous situation. Now, once this hit the media outlet, Jeezy came forward to make a formal statement, saying that the allegations are absolutely false. And this is just an attempt of Jeannie trying to tarnish his character. The information being put out is just manipulation. And at this point, he's only concerned with being an active father and fighting for the court to mandate joint custody, because he's confident that the truth will come out through the proper legal channel. So baby Jeannie says she is not the one to be played with, because she gonna play fire with fire. Now, although Jeezy is saying that these allegations are not true, we know to a certain level or degree some of them are. Although one can question the validity of some of them, only because she's providing the information and pictures to some of the events and not all of them. She did not provide any pictures of the incidents that happened in the car, i.e. her eye being hemorrhaged or the multiple scratches that she got on her breast. Not to say that those incidents did not happen, however, having pictures and submitting them in court again validates what you're saying. Just like the incident report that was captured by the Ritz-Carlton, as well as the pictures that were submitted from the golf cart. And just to be clear, the pictures of the bruises that were submitted was from the golf cart incident, not any physical DV. In addition to the pictures that were submitted, she submitted text messages to validate that an incident did occur because he was drinking, essentially putting her into harm's way. Now, Jeezy is trying to fight this narrative because he also released pictures of his foot that was injured, in addition to him being in a golf cart and the golf cart having a license plate that says Great Dad. Now, although Jeezy did submit these pictures to change the narrative, Jeannie still says that she has 3 witnesses that could corroborate her story of abuse. And And if this is true, the reason of him filing for a divorce is really clear and evident. They married each other for who they wanted to be, not who they actually were. And whenever they both showed up as their true selves, it got real grimy and dangerous. And continuing down that path was going to end up bad for him and her. Now, Chatty Patties, it's time to hop in those comments. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions as it surrounds this DV allegations. Do you think Jeannie is submitting this information to be spiteful, or is because she's trying to protect her child, and therefore it's in the best interest of the child that she have primary custody? And what are your thoughts on Jesus' response? Do you feel like Jeannie is just trying to lie to the media in order to make him look bad by trying to taint his character? This is a good one, so you know I'm definitely getting in those comments. And before you go, make sure you like and share this video with everyone that you know. Also, subscribe to the channel so that you can become an official Chatty Patty lover, and I promise you're gonna love it here. And don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you know when we drop our next video or go live. Now, Chatty Patty, you already know how I do. First things first, I'm hopping in the comments to see what you had to say. Then it's back to scrubbing the headline so that I can bring you all another story. So that's gonna be all for now, and until next time, bye bye.